the world gets ready to celebrate the return of the football season, the Yankees got to celebrate the homecoming of their father and their favorite uncle since the Astros came to town this past weekend. Welcome back to the Moonstamp Cast. I'm Brian, and I'm joined by the Altuve to my Correa, Jorden. Right, he's not here. This is going to be a solo podcast. This is going to be horrible. It is probably way shorter than the ones in the past have been because my partner is not here. He is on vacation and he's having a wonderful time. But we got to get our podcast out, so I'm going to try and steer this ship best I can. It's not going to be pretty. I have some notes, and we're going to see how long this goes for. I'm not even a minute in yet, and I'm already worried about the length of this podcast. Hopefully, I hit 15 minutes. That's how bad I think this is going to be. Let's just jump right into it, though. The Astros are 67-52. They're first place in the AL West, but they're only one game up against Seattle, who refuses to lose. I believe they're 9-1 in their last 10 at time of recording. They're horrifying. Maybe some of us down here talked a little bit of shit a little too early, seeing as there's still a month and a half left in the season. They're scary good, man. I want to be confident. I like the moves that we've made, but Seattle's rearing its head. They had a little downslope in the middle that we took advantage of and took first place, but they're back with a vengeance, and this is going to be a tight race. But never underestimate the AL West's ability to eat itself alive and screw itself out of who should win the division. It's incredible. The Astros took 2 of 3 against the Yankees, which was really nice to see. It just felt right. And then the thing that sits like high above everything else, the two things really, are the Altuve home runs. Of course, like she just rained down the booze on him, and he's gonna smack a ball down the left field line 360 feet or so. Twice he did that during the season. And the other thing was after, I believe it was a Trummel home run. Correa and Altuve standing outside of the dugout celebrating together. That felt right. That was the big moment for me. Like, obviously we'd all celebrate that Correa's back, and he'd had a couple series since his return, but that was the moment that it really, really settled in that Correa is back. And including that, on top of that, the home run that he had on Sunday's game was also just, it's so nice to have him back. It feels right. It feels good. It was weird that it was like 4 or 5 years without Correa 4 years, I think, without Correa in a Astros uniform, and then he's back, and it's like nothing's changed almost. Like he said in an interview that the best part about being back in Houston is that he gets to play with Jose Altuve, which is, they were best friends. They are best friends. So it's nice to see them together again and celebrating over Yankees defeat. So yeah, the Yankees got to see their father and their favorite uncle, and I'm sure the Bronx was not a happy place after Sunday dropping the series. Speaking of back, though, Christian Javier came back last night against the Boston Red Sox, and of course Bregman's returned to Houston as well, and he let his presence known early by hitting that 2-run home run. But those were the only runs that Christian Javier gave up, which was huge. Christian Javier was 5 innings, 2 runs, 3 hit, 5 Ks. That's a good return. All right. For a man that has not pitched in a very, very long time, we're starting to get our arms back. And that makes me a little bit confident that we might, if the arms are coming back, really do what we hope and expect them to do, that we can still win this division pretty easily, even with how hot Seattle is. Because Aaron Getty's back. Luis Garcia had a stellar performance in AAA for his rehab games. I don't know on the docket when he's coming back. He might have already been pitched by the time you're listening to this or see this, but Christian Javier is back. Aaron Getty's back. Hunter Brown's still firing. Framber's still well, Framber's. What Framber are you going to get? The rattled one or the stone cold killer? That's to be seen. But it's it's a good time to be an Astros fan. It has been a good time to be an Astros fan for the past 8 years, 9 years. But we got a lot of extra accusations. We got a lot of extra players back than just from the trades we got. We're also getting a lot of arms back. Is what I'm trying to say, and it's it's exciting, but it is nerve wracking because these guys, some of these pitchers have not pitched in a long time, and Aaron Getty, while looking a little shaky come out as he came back, I think he's going to get his stuff together. He's young. That was his first big league game since April. That's a long time for a thumb. Well, it was the broken thumb, right? Well, he's back, and Christian Javier's back, and Luis Garcia is hopefully back soon. So that sounds like a hell of a starting rotation to me. We'll have to see how Garcia fits in though, because it's almost as we almost have too many. No, it's not quite the if you have two quarterbacks, you have no quarterbacks, but it's going to be interesting to see what send downs and stuff that we do to make room for all these players that we're getting back. Jumping over to golf, Tommy Fleetwood is forever the bridesmaid, it seems. He's still looking for his first PGA Tour win. He went into the last round of the St. Jude's Championship with a one-stroke lead, and I wouldn't call it a choke job. Some people said it was a choke job. One-stroke lead isn't enough to be a choke job. He did finish tied for third because he didn't make the playoff, but he seems like the perpetual bridesmaid. And that had me thinking about other bridesmaids throughout other sports. And unfortunately, I could only really think of two big ones that stuck out of my mind, and they're both football related. So I want to hear what y'all's are in the comments because I'm going to clip this. The big one is the Buffalo Bills, 4 Super Bowls in a row, couldn't get it done. That was kind of forever bridesmaid. They don't have a Super Bowl win. It's heartbreaking, but they're the perpetual bridesmaid. Now I think these next couple of seasons are a great chance that is no longer the case. I think Josh Allen is the number 1 quarterback in the NFL. And I think the Buffalo Bills are gearing up to really, really push for this thing and go all in over the next couple seasons. And I'm looking forward to it. And the other one that I could think of it's not a non-success story because he has a Super Bowl, but it's Drew Brees. He finished second in Super Bowl or second in MVP voting 4 times. So for the MVP race, I'd say he was always a bridesmaid. But yeah, those are the 2 big ones that stuck out to me. That when I was thinking about bridesmaids of sports. But I would love to hear what you guys have for me. I mean, like I said, I don't really have very many notes, so this is going to be an interesting podcast. I mean, I guess the big one is that's not sports related, but kind of sports related, is on the New Heights podcast. Taylor Swift just announced on her boyfriend's podcast, Travis Kelce, that she has a new album coming out called Life of a Showgirl. Now, my wife is very excited about this. And that means I'm going to know all the Taylor Swift new songs by the end, about a week after it comes out. So look forward to that, sports fans. I wonder if this year, depending on when it comes out, we might get showered with Taylor Swift's music in the NFL during the NFL season. You know what? I got irritated. I admit it. I got irritated with how often they were showing Taylor Swift when they first got together, and it was like all the NFL was trying to milk. At the same time, she's one of the most famous people in the world right now. Of course they're going to try and show her off. Of course they're going to be like, look who's here. I quickly stopped caring and realize that them cutting to a superstar for a couple seconds or a mention in a couple times a game affects my life 0%, really. And getting mad about that is kind of, I don't want to say weird, because I understand both sides, but it's just, it feels like a waste of time, if you will. Like, there's so many other things, and we're not going to go down this road. Hell no, we're not going down this road. There's so many other things that I could be upset about, or that could occupy that space in my brain about, like, oh, I'm tired of this and this needs to change. Showing Taylor Swift off at, I don't want to say showing off, that's weird, but showing her at football games is so low on the totem pole of things I care about. Oh my God, I almost turned my computer off. I don't know. It's there's this camp of sports fans, specifically NFL fans, that are very sick and tired of her, and her announcing a new album right before the season starts means there's going to be some talk in NFL games about it, especially Kansas City games. And there's going to be a weird pocket of the internet that's very upset about this and very vocal about it. And then in response, the Swifties are going to fire back at them. And it's just going to be these clashing of online personas. And there's just I'm going to say 95% of NFL fans and sports fans are just going to not care. But that weird pocket of 5% is going to be up in arms and ready to burn down NFL stadiums because they showed Taylor Swift twice on a video broadcast on a national, Sunday Night Football, Thursday Night Football, or Monday Night Football, and it was just the worst thing ever. Yeah, this is the dead season. I really don't have that much. I mean, there's preseason football we could talk about, but I mean, CJ Stroud looked pretty comfortable and pretty good on the one drive that he had. The offensive line looked pretty all right. We ended up scoring. I'm still nervous. I'm still nervous about the offensive line. This is preseason. It's never been, from what I can remember, and that's not a good sign because when I go to these home games, we tailgate, and perhaps my memory is not firing on all cylinders. My brain power is not all there because of self-inflicted and digested means. But I don't remember the offensive line ever being an issue at the beginning of games. Not a big issue. Of course, some sacks are given up or some blocks are missed. But I really feel like it was late games where people started eating it up. Like we'd get out to, decent-sized leads, and then, their defense would start ramping up and start getting to the quarterback a little bit more because I don't know if maybe it's less about skill that we had last year and more about comfortability. About they would just get complacent and not have to be like, oh, we're fine. I don't need to give 100%. And then CJ would get rocked. That's what I'm worried about. I'm not worried about the first quarter really. It's later on in the games. How many hits does CJ take? I could be completely wrong about all of this, and some stat nerd could come at me and be like, well, technically, he gets hit 25% more often in the first quarter. I don't care. This is purely based off eye test and memory test. I didn't even write this down, so this is just kind of a rant. But it was good to see the drive. It was good to see that they looked like they were doing well and that unit is pretty lockstep together. But it's going to be a wait and see thing. It's weird. It's like it's been a perpetual problem for the entire existence of the Texans. That offensive line has always been a problem. Now there's years here and there that's not, but it always feels like it's a bottom half unit. It's never been a top half unit, and that's not good. CJ, I talked about this last week. We compared CJ to Andrew Luck, and that if we don't end up protecting CJ, luckily he hasn't had very many injuries, but thank God, hopefully that continues. But, if he starts getting nailed all the time, his body will break down eventually, like Andrew Luck's did. And why would he want to stay in a situation where we refuse to protect him? He's the biggest asset we have as a team, and I wanted to go all in on free agent offensive linemen and drafting offensive or drafting offensive linemen and signing free agents of offensive linemen. Don't get me wrong, really happy with where we did in our draft. But I wanted to make sure that CJ was protected first and foremost because he's the keys to the kingdom, man. Without him, we're look at these past couple of years, ass. And that's no shot at Davis Mills in that era, Brian Hoyer and all that stuff. But after Deshaun departure, the trade, by the way, what a beautiful trade that was. After that departure, it was rough sledding, man. It was rough sledding. And then we draft CJ, and he's basically like the Lord and Savior of the Texans now. And we got to protect him. So that's the other, I will give the Texans credit. Because the other crime that people commit was in Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers is a good example, is refusal to get weapons. Okay, you have Devontae Adams. That's it. That's all you're getting, Aaron Rodgers. You have your friend, your core, the Aaron Rodgers friends, as Jorden calls them. At least we've gotten him weapons. And man, oh man, the Jalen's. Man, we basically have two Nico Collins. We drafted another Nico Collins, and I'm super excited to see how that goes, man. It's going to be awesome. And a speedster as well in the second round. And they were teammates. But, yeah, it's this season's going to be interesting. I don't really love our schedule. I'll go through it with Jorden again, but I'm going to run through the schedule real quick. And this is just off the rip. And I'll just see what we have. Texans schedule. At Rams scares me. Pretty good defense. Matt Stafford is still a great quarterback. I'm gonna put that as a W. I think we come out of the gate hot. Buccaneers home. Ooh. Actually, no. Rams, I'm gonna say is an L. Buccaneers at home, I think tough fought win. Jaguars on the road, we always win. Titans at home, I'm going to say win again. They're going to be figuring things out. Ravens on the road, I think is an L. Well, yeah. I think the Ravens and Bills are the best two teams in the NFL this year is my official, in the AFC is my official prediction. I think that's the AFC championship matchup is Bills-Ravens. Patrick Mahomes will use some black magic and get there and win the Super Bowl this year instead. So also mark that down. All right. And then we got at Seahawks. I think it's a dub. 49ers at Texans. I think that's a dub. Broncos at Texans, I think is an L. I think the Broncos are gearing up for an incredible year. Oh man. I think the Broncos are going to be a sneaky good team. I think a lot of people are talking about Chiefs and Chargers. It's the Chiefs division, sure, but they're talking about, maybe the Chargers step up and dethrone them. I think a lot of people are sleeping on the Broncos. They've got a great defense. They have an offense that was firing in the second half of the season, especially last year. Sean Payton's got those boys playing, so I think the Broncos are going to be very underrated, and I think they're a sneaky good, divisional round. Or second round of the playoffs team. I really think they could do it. I think they'll sneak into a wild card spot because I don't think they'll win the division. I said think about 7 times there. But I do think, there you go again. I'm going to say that they end up being a wild card team, maybe the number 2 wild card spot. And they get a playoff win. They surprise some people. Hopefully not against us. Jacksonville at home, I think that's a dub as well. Titans on the road, I think that's a weird game. That's a weird game. That always feels like a weird L. You know what? That's going to be our weird L of the year. We're going to somehow lose to the Titans at their place. Bills at home. Oh boy. I think that might be an L too. Colts on the road, W. They're a dumpster fire right now. Chiefs on the road, I think that's an L. Cardinals at home, W. Raiders at home, W. On the road at Chargers. That's a W. Colts at home, W. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I got us going 11-6. It's not great, but we do have a very hard schedule this year. I think that might be enough to win the division. I hope that's enough to win the division, but it's going to be close. Jacksonville's easily our best competition in that because Colts, Daniel Jones or Anthony Richardson. I don't know what you do that. I do think Anthony Richardson's going to end up being okay, but he's got some not maturing in the sense of quarterback play to do. Got a hell of an arm, but it's not college anymore, if that makes sense. But I think it's going to be between us and Jacksonville. I don't know if 11 wins gets it done. We're going to have to sneak a win from one of those teams that we're going to have to surprise the Ravens, which did not go well last year. Jump on the Chiefs. Maybe they have a down year, but that's going to be at them in the cold. Maybe that's when Taylor Swift's album comes out. That's going to be rough. I don't know. I'm real nervous about this year, to be honest. I'm trying to temper expectations, but we'll see. As always, super excited for college football. College football is just around the corner. I'm going to attempt to make a brisket for the Notre Dame game against Miami. That should be interesting. Well, that's a perfect segue. Next week, there's a good chance that we have a guest on, one Blake Blackmar, the Don of the Baylor Bears Meat Mafia. He's one of my best friends. He was in my wedding. He is a former college football player, and he made it to the NFL technically. Oh, I feel bad for saying it like that. He's going to kick the shit out of me. But we'll have him on either next week or the following week. We're going to talk some ball with him. He's very knowledgeable. He's a hell of a guy. He's a funny man, and he knows ball. He knows ball way better than I know ball, and that's just, that's not a high standard at all. But yeah, he's a good guy, and we'll have him on. But he's big into barbecue. He's big into cooking in general, and he sent me his brisket recipe and how to basically do it. And boy, oh boy, from Saturday about 12 p.m., I'm going to be working until it's done on Sunday at 4 p.m., at least monitoring, because a lot of it's just cooking and changing temperatures and sticking it in the oven and keeping it warm and stuff. I don't know. He sent me this whole thing. I don't know if I'm supposed to ever share any part of it because it's his recipe for success. He's got a big tanker smoker. I just have a little thing in the back of the house that was a wedding gift from another friend of mine. But we might have a moon stamp update on that because it could be an absolute disaster, like horrible, like everything has gone wrong, disaster, and I have to call Delta Blue and be like, "Can I get a shit ton of brisket because all these people are here, and I need you to bring it into the backyard sneakily, and then present it as my own." No, I'm not going to do that. We'll order pizza if I fail. And there's a good chance I fail because I've never smoked anything before. This would be my first rodeo, and I don't know if brisket's the thing to start it on, but I just thought it was a good idea. I have the smoker. Football season's here. Might as well celebrate it, right? But it could be an absolute disaster. Oh, okay. I was at a birthday party. This is not good, because there's a good chance he sees this. I was at a birthday party this past weekend. So Jordan and I have a list of hot topic hot takes is what we call them, which is the joke is that we're sponsored by Hot Topic. We're not, but we have a list of them, and that's what I'm going to do for the next 5 minutes or so I can hit the 30-minute mark. And then I have to edit this horrible monstrosity of a podcast. Yeah, if you are still listening, thank you very much. I'm so sorry that you just listened to me talk for 25 minutes or 24 minutes right now. But I'm going to try and make it to the 30 mark. And a lot of this is rants. It stopped being about sports a while ago. But thank you. But anyways, back to what we're talking about. So for the rest of this podcast, I'm just going to do some of the lighter hot topic hot takes that I have. I just have a list of topics that we have written down. And that's bring it all the way back to how I began this horrible mess of a sentence or paragraph. I was at a birthday party this past weekend for one of my best friends in the world. I love him dearly. We went golfing earlier that day. irrelevant to the story. I just like talking about golf. And this is such a weird hater thing for me. Like, in no way, shape, or form should this thought have popped in my head. But we were singing happy birthday to him, as one does at a birthday party. And a couple adults, while singing to a now 30-year-old man, said, happy birthday. I can't do it. Copyright. That's the most copyrighted song of all time. But they threw in the cha-cha-chas. And it just got, I heard it and I recoiled. I was like, that's such a thing that I associate with kids' birthday party and having kids have fun. And like, you say that and like, if you're at like a 2-year-old birthday party and you've got your 2-year-old, you like shake their shoulders a little bit, not hard or anything, but that's always what I associated with it. So I think a lot of grown adults saying that to a 30-year-old threw me off. And I'm probably wrong here. This might be a why do you hate fun take, but I was just like, that was weird. Didn't like that. But it's one of the weirdest things we've ever talked about on this podcast is I didn't like cha-cha-chas at a birthday party. But I mean, don't get me wrong, the rest of the party was great and everything, and no problems with anyone. I don't even know who said it, but it was adult male voices. So I know it wasn't. If it was children, obviously have fun with it. Heck yeah, you go. Other grown-ups saying cha-cha to other grown-ups' birthdays while singing happy birthday just threw me for a loop, if you will. Oh man, I gotta bring that back up. I want Jordan's thoughts on that. So I'm gonna have to bring that up with next time, next week when Jordan's back. Oh, that's it. I've got another teaser for next week, because this is one I want to ask him is, what lane do you drive in when going down just like a city street or a, like out here, it's a lot of like suburbs where I live, and what lane do you drive in is very important, because I have this I have this discussion with my father and my wife a lot about which lane you're in, and I'm going to save that for Jordan too. Maybe I'll just do previews, things I want to talk about with Jordan. That's the segment. Put it across the board, editor. Me. Yeah, that's okay. Nickelback getting weird hate is another one that I'm going to bring up with him. I'm not going to say anything more on that because I have a whole argument that I'm going to store in my back pocket. Yeah, no, these are a lot of good ones I want to do with Jordan. All right, well, I can kill 2 minutes to get to the 30-minute mark. I'm sore. My the guy that's coming on to the podcast, he sent me a bench workout because I was like, hey, I don't know if this is if I need to be doing more weight or more reps or anything. He sent me a bench workout and I did it, and it was a lot. I'm not going to give you the numbers because I don't want you guys to make fun of me. But then he was like, okay, cool, you're done. Do dumbbell bench on top of that. And I was like, okay. And then he was like, you should try some wide grip bench just to really stretch it out. And I did that. And I was like, man, my chest feels pretty good. And then I woke up this morning and I have no chest right now. Like normally there's pecs that I can feel a little bit. I'm still fat, but you can feel the muscle. No, it's just straight tits right now, just straight boobies. And it's quite embarrassing. And my poor wife is going to see me shirtless coming out of the shower, and she's going to be like, what are those? What the fuck is this podcast, man? 30 minutes of me talking to myself might be the most horrible thing. If you listen to this, if you actually listen to the podcast, if you're not just like looking at the clips, if you listen to this 30-minute talk about nothing, you're an insane person and you need therapy. You need therapy, because why would you listen to me rant about anything? And why would you should, at the 20-minute mark, you should have been like, okay, this guy's done with sports. He's got nothing intelligent that he's about to say, because that's all it's been since. It's been nonsense. But yeah, I'm excited for college football. I could have done my top 10 quarterbacks entering the season, but like I said, this is stuff I want to do with Jorden. I need the immediate reaction. I don't know how I'm going to get 7 clips out of this. This is going to be very interesting. I didn't get 7 clips out of last podcast because there's not a clip going out today. But yeah, I mean, I did it. I lasted 30 minutes. That's an accomplishment. I thought I was going to be lucky if I got 15 minutes. And now here I am at the 30-minute mark. Again, ranting about talking about nothing and extending the podcast for no good reason. I'm just going over my notes, making sure I didn't miss anything. I don't have bugger all for notes. Why did I get British with that? Oh, man. All right, so Jordan's not here to make fun of me. So I wanted to talk briefly about a possible segment in the future, because he might listen to this podcast. Because I listened to his, and his was an adventure. Mine was way worse. His was way better. If you want to go listen to a solo podcast with Moon Stampcast, go to listen to his after this, and you'll be like, yeah, that was a way better adventure. He went all over the place. So instead of a top 5 list, I want to do something called certified, like certified, but certified. And it's the certified top 5 of whatever we talk about. I'm not going to clip this, but hopefully Jorden will hear it. Now that I've said it out loud, it's in. I almost said writing. I gotta end this, dude. This is bad. I don't. Oh man. Well, thank you guys so much for listening. This was a absolute shit show. I can't believe I made it 30 minutes. I have to go back and edit this and then clip some things about this and try and make it 7 clips. They're going to be short 7 clips, but oh well. Thank you guys so much for listening. You can follow Moonstamp across all social media, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, X/Twitter. And you can follow me specifically on all social media platforms, especially twitch.tv, at Auric Polaris, AuricPolaris, tonight, which is irrelevant to you because this is being uploaded on Thursday. But tonight, Tuesday, I'm going to, well, it might be semi-relevant. I'm going to be doing the Radon Festival in Elden Ring. And there's a great chance I don't beat it tonight because this is my first time. Well, I did a couple attempts last time I streamed, but yeah, it's going to be bad. I have a feeling that I'm going to get my ass kicked. And there's a great chance that when you are hearing this, I have not beaten it yet and that I am going to stream it in the future. So you can watch that idiocracy at twitch.tv/Auric Polaris, AuricPolaris. I love you guys. That's a part of my take exit. I got to erase that. See you guys next week. Jorden will be back, so a better podcast, guaranteed. We'll have a possible guest, Blake Blackmar, former offensive lineman from the Baylor Bears and former offensive lineman for the Chicago Bears. Bear and Bears, just realized that. No, I didn't, but I realized that again. We'll see you guys next week. Peace and love.